Hello, good morning students. Now we are going to start the new topic, complex number. This topic is new for you. In class 10th, number system has been taught real numbers. Now this topic is again related to the number system, complex number. Let us discuss the definition of complex number. The simple language you can say the complex number, the combination of real and imaginary numbers is called complex number. The combination of real and imaginary number is called complex number. Simple. Real number you have been taught in class 10th. Now imaginary number is included. So let us discuss what is imaginary. The word imaginary means that can be imagined. Simply you imagine the number. Actually this is not actually number, it is imaginary, imagination of the number. For example, suppose I say find the solution of x square plus 4 is equal to 0. X square plus 4 is equal to 0, or x square plus 1 is equal to 0. So simply you see that sum of two positive numbers is never 0. This x square, if x is any real number, the square of that is real, plus 4, these two real numbers, and its square becomes 0. So sum of any two positive numbers never be 0. So we can imagine the result. We can imagine the result. For example, suppose we are going to find the value of this, we can write x square is equal to minus 1, or x is equal to under root minus 1. Under root minus 1. So this is not a number, this is not a real number, this is not a square root, this is not, means this number can be imagined. So simply you can say that square root of any negative real number, negative integer is called imaginary number. Imaginary number, square root of any negative integer. For this you can find x square is equal to minus 4, or x is equal to under root minus 4. 4 is an integer, minus 4 is negative integer, its square root is under root minus 4. So this is imaginary number. So for the solution of this, we note that square root of 1 minus 1, square root of minus 1 is noted as, square root of minus 1 is noted as I. Square root of minus 1 is under root minus I, and this is noted as, this is minus 1, and this is noted as I is equal to under root minus 1. I is equal to under root minus 1. This I is called iota. Iota. This name is given by the mathematician Euler. Mathematician Euler has given the name iota. Iota, that is noted as I, and it is square root of minus 1. If you square this, what we have, I square is equal to minus 1. I square is equal to minus 1. if you are going to find the value of I cube, I to the power 4, like I cube is equal to I square into I, and I square is minus 1, minus 1 into I is minus I to the power 4, I to the power 4 is equal to I square to square, this is minus 1 square is equal to 1. So iota can be solved in this way. Now very interesting thing I am going to tell you. This I is means imaginary number. I is neither equal to 0 nor greater than 0 nor less than 0. Try to understand. I is neither equal to 0 or greater than 0 or less than 0. Try to understand. Any number, if you suppose any number, whether it is real number, whether it is a rational number, whether it is irrational number, odd number, prime number, whatever is, so that particular number is either equal to 0 or maybe more than equal to 0 or less than equal to 0. But here I am telling you that square root of I is iota. This iota is neither equal to 0 nor less than 0 nor more than 0. Then what kind of number is this? Means it is not equal to 0, it is not more than 0, it is not less than 0. Then what kind of number is this? So simply you can say that this is imaginary number. This is imagination. So let's see, it is a theorem. We can say very interesting fact. Theorem I is neither equal to 0 or I more than 0 or I is less than 0. Means I is neither equal to 0 nor more than 0 nor less than 0. So let's see what a kind of number is this. We are going to prove. See this. Proof. Let I equal to 0. We suppose that I is equal to 0. Multiply both sides by I. Multiply both sides by I. So what we have? I into I is equal to 0 into I. So in left side we have I square is equal to 0, and previously I told that I square is equal to minus 1. So minus 1 is equal to 0 is not possible. Not possible, or that is not true. Means I is not equal to 0. Got it? See again. Let I is greater than 0. I is greater than 0. Now multiply, or I into I is equal is greater than 0 into I. This is I square is greater than 0. I square is minus 1 is greater than 0. So minus 1 is greater than 0. Is it possible? So we have to write not possible. This is not possible. Now let's see. If I is less than 0, I is less than 0, multiply both sides by I into I is less than 0 into I. Now this is I square is less than 0, minus 1 is less than 0, minus 1 is less than 0. It seems that it is what? True. It is true because I is less than 0. I is less than 0, but numerically we can say this is iota, square root. This is square root. So this one is not possible. This one is not possible. Iota. This is not possible. So you can leave this case, but to show this we can show this I is never equal to this. So it is not possible. Got it? So this is not more than 0, equal to 0 or less than 0. Then what kind of number is this? This is imaginary number. Here the case seems to be true. I square is less than 0, minus 1 is less than 0. It seems to be true. But in case of iota, it is not true. In case of iota, it is not true. Let's see. One more thing. One more thing I would like to add. Some points I have noted to tell you. Theorem: no real number can be equal to imaginary number. This is theorem. Theorem: no real number can be equal to imaginary number. Let's see. Suppose A and B are two non-zero positive real numbers. Proof. Let A is not equal to 0, B is not equal to 0, be any positive real numbers. We have to show that A and B are non-zero. So we have to show that real number is never equal to imaginary number. And if we suppose that A is equal to IB, try to understand. A is equal to IB. Here A is real, IB is imaginary, because iota is written. So iota is written with this, it is imaginary number. So A is equal to IB. I have written equal sign between them. Is it true? We are going to show this. Squaring. A square is equal to I square B square. And since I square is equal to minus 1, so we have A square is equal to minus B square. A square is equal to minus B square. Now we can write, or A square plus B square is equal to 0. A square plus B square is equal to 0. Square of two real numbers, non-zero. Square of two non-zero is equal to 0. It is possible? Not possible. It is possible only when a is equal to 0, b is equal to 0. It is possible only when a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 0. It means we have already assumed that a and b are not 0. So what can we say? कि real number is never equal to imaginary number. Therefore real number is not equal to imaginary number. So this was the theorem. These are very simple terms to be learned. Now one more theorem I would like to give you. Theorem is, if a and b are positive real numbers, if a and b are positive real numbers, then under root minus a into under root minus b is equal to minus under root ab. Minus under root ab. This is the theorem. So let's see its left hand side. Under root minus a into under root minus b. Let's get the value of under root minus a. Under root minus a, this can be written under root minus 1 into under root a. And right now I told that this under root minus a is I. Square root of minus 1 is I. So we can write I into a. This is I into under root a. Sorry, this is I into under root a. For b, minus b is equal to under root minus 1 into under root b. And once again minus 1 is I. So we can write I into under root b. Get this value in case of product. Under root minus a into under root minus b is equal to I under root a into I under root b. I into I is I square and under root a into b. I square is minus 1. So this is minus under root ab. So this is proved. This theorem is proved. So this is how we can see the small terms, small theorems. Now one more theorem I can give you. If a complex number is 0, then its real and imaginary parts are 0. If a complex number is 0, then its real and imaginary both parts are 0. I am writing the statement. Now before going to next theorem, as I gave the definition of complex number, that combination of real and imaginary number is called a complex number. Combination of real and imaginary number is called complex number, and it is noted as Z. So Z is equal to x plus I y. where x is real and iy, this iota, is imaginary, or z is equal to a plus ib, or z is equal to c plus id, all these are complex numbers. तो theorem is कि if any complex number becomes zero, it means its real and imaginary part, x is real part, y is imaginary part. Try to understand, x is real part and y is imaginary part. So if any complex number is zero, then its real and imaginary parts are zero. Real and imaginary parts are zero. So we are going to prove this theorem. If a complex number is zero, then its real and imaginary parts are zero. Its real and imaginary parts are zero. We have to prove. So proof, let z is equal to x plus I y. Z is equal to x plus I y. Z is a complex number, x is real part, y is with iota is imaginary part. So this is when z is equal to 0, therefore x plus iy is equal to 0. X plus iy is equal to 0. Send this iy this side, or x is equal to minus iy. Got it? Square this. Squaring, x square is equal to I square y square. This negative becomes positive, I square and y square, and since I square is equal to minus 1, so this becomes x square is equal to minus y square. Bring this y this side, so we have x square plus y square is equal to 0, and x square plus y square is equal to 0. Since x square plus y square is equal to 0, it is possible only when both x and y are 0. Otherwise, a square of any two real number is never 0. So it is possible only when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. So what I had to prove? Real and imaginary parts are 0. Real part is x, imaginary part is y. So sum of these two, x square plus y square is equal to 0. So real and imaginary parts are 0. Got it? Now equality of complex number. Equality of complex number means in which case two complex numbers are equal. Equality of complex numbers means in what case two complex number must be equal. In what case two complex numbers must be equal. This is called equality of complex numbers. So suppose let z1 is equal to a plus ib and Z2 is equal to C plus ID and Z1 is equal to Z2. It means we have A plus IB is equal to C plus ID. So in case we compare real part with real part and imaginary part with imaginary part, so A is equal to C and B is equal to D. So what is the conclusion? Means two complex numbers are equal only when their corresponding terms or the corresponding parts are equal, means real part equal to real part and imaginary part equal to imaginary part. Got it? Now one more term I would like to add, properties of addition of complex numbers. Properties of addition of complex numbers means if we add two complex numbers, the result is complex number. If we subtract two different complex numbers, not same, two different complex numbers, the result is complex number. If we multiply two complex number, result is complex number. If we divide two complex number, result is complex number. So in case of addition, when we add properties of complex numbers. Number one, first property, closure property. What is closure property? Means if we have Z1 and Z2 two complex numbers, then Z1 plus Z2 or Z2 plus Z1 is same. Or you can say commutative property. Let's see commutative property. Commutative property like Z1 plus Z2 is same as Z2 plus Z1. Means in case of addition, commutative law holds good. Means commutative law holds good. Second, associative property. Means if we have, if Z1, Z2 and Z3 are complex numbers, then Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 is same as Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. This is called associative property. Now additive identity. Additive identity means an identity which is added to the complex number and result remains the same. Additive identity, the term which is added to the complex number and result becomes the same. So try to understand, if in any number, if you add another number, result be never same, never be same, except 0. If we add 0 to any number, the result becomes same. So this is called additive. This is called additive identity. Third, additive identity, and Z plus 0 is 0 plus Z. If you add 0 to a complex number, the result remains same. So this is 0 is called additive identity. Got it? Now additive inverse, fourth one. Additive inverse. What is additive inverse? Means a complex number which is added to a given complex number and result becomes 0, and result becomes 0 is additive inverse. Suppose a number is -5, what you add to that number, it becomes 0. So simply -5 plus 5. In the same manner, let Z1, Z is equal to A plus IB, then minus Z is equal to minus A minus IB, means Z minus Z is equal to 0. Z minus Z is equal to 0 means A plus IB minus A plus IB is equal to 0. So what is additive inverse? Additive inverse of a complex number is just minus Z. Means if complex number is Z, then its additive inverse is minus Z. So these are very simple terms to be learned, very simple things. Okay. So in today's lecture we are leaving this much. In next lecture we shall discuss some more things. Got it? Thank you very much. God bless you.